Hey there! Welcome to my channel. I'm super excited to have you here and share my love for crochet with you all. Today, I want to show off this amazing crochet jacket that I've been working on. It's perfect for any occasion and I'm sure you'll love it as much as I do. Oh, and make sure to smash that subscribe button to stay updated on all my upcoming projects. Lots of tops for summer are coming your way, so don't miss out. Here I'm using this Lion brand. Wool is wow, and this is a jumbo number 7. For that I'm using this 19mm crochet hook, and this is 80% acrylic and 20% wool. We're going to start crocheting 24 chains, and it goes from your shoulder to your waist. And this is for size small. If you want a little bit longer, then you're gonna have to crochet more chains. We're gonna start here with a slip knot. Let's start crocheting in a very loose way. Just try every time to pull up your loop to this shaft area, and that way you're always going to end up with the same tension. So let's do it again. You're going to yarn over and slip a stitch to make your chain here and bring your loop to this area every time. Now we're gonna start making the first panel or front panel. I already made one and it's right here. So you're gonna end up making 20 rows, and let's start doing the first one. So after we make a chain 1, we turn our work, and then in the second chain from the hook we're gonna insert our hook, yarn over, pull through. Remember to bring that loop to the shaft area, and that's gonna help keep maintaining that loose tension. And then we're gonna slip a stitch, and this is going to be the pattern across. Let's continue with this pattern until the end, and I'll meet you guys right there. So I just finished this row. I got to the end, and I'm going to chain 1. Remember, always chain 1 at the end. I got here to the end of the row. I'm going to chain 1. Remember, always chain 1 at the end. You turn your work, and you're gonna start in the second chain from the hook and always in the back loop. So let's insert the hook, yarn over, pull through, bring the loop to the shaft area and slip a stitch, and we continue like that across until the end. We're gonna end up making 20 rows, and this is going to be the first panel, and we're gonna repeat, and we're gonna make 2 panels exactly the same, and those are the front panels. So I'll meet you guys when you have the 2 panels. This is the back panel. For this I chained 24 and I made 40 rows total. We're gonna start crocheting the sleeves, and I already made one. I made chain 24, and then I have 24 rows. Here I have my 2 sleeves done. I have 2 exact panels, which are going to be the sleeves. Now we're going to start assembling all the pieces together. I'm using these stitch markers to connect the corners, and make sure this area for your neck, I always leave about 8 inches. And I'm just using stitch markers so we can start joining the front panels to the back panel. And remember, you're facing always the wrong side of the front panels, and this will be the wrong side in the back. You're gonna use any method you want. I usually use always a slip stitch. I think that is the easiest method we can use here. So let's join the yarn and let's slip stitch through the first chain in both panels, and then let's go to the next stitch and to the next stitch in the back panel, and let's slip stitch, and let's continue across until we get to the stitch markers, and I'll meet you right there. Now we're going to start joining the sleeves to the body. Remember, here we're facing the wrong side of sleeves and the body. Now we're going to start joining with the same method right here in the corner. So let's start doing that. Here we're going to start crocheting the cuff, and we're going to join the yarn. I'm going to just do it where the tail is when I finish the sleeve. So I'm just going to join the yarn right there. I'm going to chain one, and then I'm going to single crochet in that same stitch. And this is going to be the first single crochet. I'm going to use a stitch marker to make sure I'm not confused with the first stitch. And now I'm going to skip the next stitch, and I'm going to go ahead and go to the next one and make another single crochet. And this is going to be the pattern. The pattern is going to be single crochet around, and you skip one stitch, and in the next one you're going to make single crochet. Make sure for size small you have around 12-13 stitches, and as soon as you finish you just have to fit and see if it is the right side. Otherwise you have to increase a couple or a little more stitches around the border, and that way you know that is your size. So let's continue making chains. We're gonna skip the next stitch, and we single crochet in the next stitch. You continue like that around, and you end up with 12 or 13 single crochets. And now I got here at the end, I'm gonna slip a stitch in the first stitch where I have the stitch marker to join. Okay, now we're gonna start with the chain, and the length of the chain is going to be the width of our cuff. If you want bigger the cuff, then what you have to do is increase the number of chains. I think that for this cardigan, this size of 4 stitches is good. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Always at the end, I'm gonna chain 1, and then in the second chain from the hook, I'm going to insert my hook and slip a stitch. And that's the first chain. And now let's go to the second one. We're gonna do the same, slip a stitch. And now we're gonna go to the third one, slip a stitch. Now in the fourth, we're gonna slip a stitch. And if you see, we got close to the border, and here, just to connect this cuff to the sleeve, we're gonna slip a stitch. So we slip a stitch right there, and then we're gonna slip a stitch again for the second time. And then we're gonna turn our work, and then we start again. We're always working in the back loop only, and remember to count the stitches. You always have to have 4, and of course if you have a bigger cuff, you have to have always the same number of stitches you started with. And so let's continue. Now we're gonna do again in the back loop only. We're gonna do a slip a stitch right there in the first chain. We're gonna go to the second chain. We're gonna slip a stitch again. That's 2. And then 3. And then 4. We're gonna chain 1, and then we're gonna turn our work again. And remember, we're always working in the back loop only, and we're gonna continue that way until we reach this part. So let's continue again. Let's finish this row. So that's 1. This is 2. This is 3. And 4. And this is feeling really tight because I'm using this 10mm crochet hook, which is perfect for the cuff. You want always a smaller hook, and you're gonna like the way it look. Okay, so now you have 4 stitches. So we're gonna go to the next chain, and we're gonna slip a stitch right there 1 time. And then we're gonna go again to the next one, and we're gonna slip a stitch again. And then you're gonna turn your work, and you're gonna continue with the same pattern. I'll meet you at the end when you reach this area. Now I got to this point, and I'm going to fasten off. I'm gonna leave a long tail to join this part. I end up with 13 rows. You could use here a yarn needle also, but I find it really easy to make it by hand. And what I'm gonna do is insert my yarn right here, front to back. Then I'm gonna come to the other side, and I'm gonna do exactly the same. I'm gonna insert my yarn front to back, and I'm gonna keep doing that. So I'm done here with the cuffs. Let's continue with the next step. Now we're gonna start crocheting the hoodie, and we're gonna make a rectangle. And for that we're gonna chain 20, and this is size small, so remember to add some stitches for sizing up. I already finished mine right here. Now I'm using some stitch markers to assemble the two pieces together, the hoodie with the jacket. Make sure you're joining facing the wrong side of jacket and the hoodie, because when you turn the hoodie this way, you have to see the V stitches pointing up. Since the hoodie goes this way, then we're gonna have to join this area, but make sure you're facing wrong side and wrong side. Now we're gonna start joining the hoodie. I just folded this way, and I'm using a stitch marker to have these two parts together, and we're gonna start joining right here until we get to this area. Remember, we're facing the wrong side, and let's start doing that. This is how it looks so far. Now we're gonna start crocheting the edging of the borders right at the waist area, and we're gonna start with single crochet, a row of single crochet, and then after the row we're gonna start with the ribbon. Is going to be the same length we did for the sleeves, so let's start doing that. We're gonna use smaller hook. I'm using a 10mm crochet hook. I'm gonna start at this front panel. I'm joining my yarn right there. I'm gonna make chain and a single crochet in the same stitch. So I'm gonna go to the next stitch and I'm gonna make a single crochet again, and I'm gonna continue that way, one single crochet in each stitch along the waist area, and I meet you right at the end. And here at the end we're gonna chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and before turning we chain 1, and then we turn our work, we're gonna do this the same way we did the cuffs for the sleeves, and you have to count at the end. You have to have the same number of stitches, remember, because that's gonna be the width of your edging. So here we have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna show you guys.
There's a lot to see,
We're gonna
a
continue the
lot to
same
do.
steps. And now you're gonna slip a stitch right
Recently I've realized I like
the panel
doing it all
one
with
time,
you.
and then 2 times.
Take my hand,